All right, everybody, welcome to the Chrysler Center here the day before MLK Day for the renewal of the rivalry between Michigan and Ohio State, this time for women's basketball. My name is Nick Hornberg, and joining me today, for the first half at least, is Nate Sorensen. Joe Wolf will join us later in the broadcast. Nate, another renewance of the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry. Michigan holding the statistical advantage on paper in almost every category. However, Ohio State on a hot run so far, such that the Buckeyes ahead of the Wolverines in the conference standings by one game.
Yeah, and Ohio State, right now, they're below 500, had a rough start to the year, but they've won 3 straight now. They've had some pretty impressive victories here, and we know it's been these last 6 matchups. Every single game has come right down to the wire. Last year, Ohio State actually won in Chrysler in an overtime victory, a nail-biter, and then Michigan went back into their house, took a game away from Ohio State. So, you know, nothing's easy between these two teams. I'm going to be excited to see what they can do here today. And
Hallie Thome winning the opening tip against Dorka Juhas. Amy Dilk at the left point. Now to Munger, now to Church at the right point. Plays it to Thome on Juhas. Thome moves into the paint. Thome goes up against Juhas, and Thome gets the first points of the game, and the Wolverines have a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle between Titans on the low post today. Juhas and Thome, the 2 best players here in this game for my money, and they're going to be battling it out down there.
And Ohio State playing quick, a foul called on Deja Church against Juhas, and Carmen Grande plays the inbound to Juhas at the point. Juhas drives in, guarded by Brown. Juhas goes up, and appears a travel was called on Juhas, and the Buckeyes, first team to commit a turnover in this game, and inbound played from Haley Brown to Amy Dilk. Dilk, the freshman from Carmel, Indiana, at the point, plays it out to Church on the left. Now to Munger at the corner. Munger, the Wolverines' leading three-point shooter. Now Thome in the post against Juhas, and ball goes out of bounds, and Michigan commits their first turnover of Hallie Thome.
Yeah, the double team came for Thome. She was not really ready for it. Turns to the baseline, steps on the line. That's tough there, but it looked like Ohio State came out in a 3-2 zone. A bit of an unorthodox approach there.
And Michaela Waterman at the point for the Buckeyes, guarded by Thome, trying to direct traffic. Moves right, give and go with Carmen Grande. Grande lays it back to Waterman, now to Juhas in the post, and now Waterman up top. Waterman moves into the post against Brown. Waterman goes up, cannot get it to go, but a foul called appears on Haley Brown.
That's a tough one right there. Haley Brown had her arms straight up in the air there. I don't know what more you can do on defense to avoid a foul there.
And the band, their cheers, ultimately futile as Michaela Waterman makes her first free throw. And Waterman makes the second. Ohio State knots the game up at 2. Brown plays the inbound to Dilk on the left side. Dilk looking to direct traffic, guarded by Grande, then lays it off to Church. And now Dilk at the point. Church trying to direct Thome to the left. And now it's Munger at the corner. Munger, the Wolverines' leading three-point shooter. Now Dilk at the point to Brown underneath. And now Munger at the corner. Munger wide open, cannot get it to go. Rebound by Dorka Juhas.
Yeah, the shot may not have gone there, but excellent ball movement to get an open 3 there for Michigan.
And three-point attempt at the corner, no good. Attempted offensive rebound by Juhas. That was Carmen Santoro, who was not able to get it to go. And out of bounds, and looks like Ohio State will get possession back. Another turnover by the Wolverines.
And that's tough because Michigan has had a turnover problem so far this year, but they've cut them down in the past couple of games. I believe their last game against Iowa, they had their lowest mark on the season with only 7. Not a good start to this one for them.
And long ball into Juhas, who misses the easy layup. And another foul called on Haley Brown, as Naz Hillman makes her first appearance of the game less than 2 minutes into the first quarter, with the game tied at 2, 8:13 left in the first. And correction, the foul was called on Amy Dilk, as Grande lofted inbound to Juhas, guarded by Hillman. Juhas looking to get into the post, ultimately lays it back to Grande. Grande, one of 4 grad transfers on the Buckeyes team, and Janae Crooms drives up for the layup. Ohio State with their first lead of the game, 4-2. And Michigan trying to push the tempo. Amy Dilk, cross court to Munger at the right point. Munger looks to it, tries to get to Thome in the paint. Thome right at the edge, and jump ball called as Carly Santoro strips it away from Thome. At possession arrow goes the Buckeyes' way, so Ohio State will retain possession.
And now to counter Ohio State's 3-2 zone, looks like Michigan's going to go to a full court press.
And now Grande doubled by Dilk and Hillman. And now Crooms drives to the basket, lays it off at the corner, deflected by Munger, but ultimately falls to Carly Santoro at the point. Ohio State has to reset their offense. Juhas calling for the ball, has it up top. And now Janae Crooms. Crooms looking to drive. Shot clock, 5 seconds left. Crooms shoots. Long two, gets it to go. Not a shot you see often made in college basketball. Not a shot you often see made in professional basketball either, but as Nicole Munger at the point lays it to Dilk at the top. And Dilk tries to play a lofted ball into Thome, cannot control it, but a foul called on Michaela Waterman. Ohio State with a 6-2 lead, 7 minutes left in the first quarter.
Yeah, it looks like Michigan is just a little bit out of sync here. They're playing a little too fast and out of control. They got to slow things down here.
And Dilk plays the inbound. Munger with a quick shot. Cannot get it to go, but Naz Hillman with an offensive rebound. Dilk fought for it, and Hillman with her first points of the game.
And Michigan settles right back into the 1-2-2 press.
And Carly Santoro, long three. Cannot get it to go off the top of the backboard. Out of bounds. Michigan ball. And Michigan conceding a lot of space on that break.
And that was the 1-2-2 pressure defense there. It's tough when a team is good with the ball, good passing the ball. They're able to just, pass it before a trap can come in, really settle in and cause pressure there. Ohio State's just been too good, too quick with the ball. But I feel like for Michigan so far, they just did not look like they're ready for this 3-2 zone Ohio State's playing. Looks like they're trying to get into a 1-3-1 offense, get the ball into the high post, right in the middle of the defense. Right then, when you get it to somebody there at about the free throw line on offense, it's not really clear whose responsibility that is. You got to have somebody come up from down low, come up, put a hand in their face, then maybe have somebody sneak in behind them. Michigan did have a little bit of success there. They found Munger in the corner for a three from that, but they've been trying to force things maybe a little bit too much, trying to pass into the zone. They keep Ohio State's done a great job, had active hands. They keep tipping passes away, and I'm not really sure what Michigan can do to combat that. They just really got to, soothe the nerves here, take a few deep breaths, get settled into this game.
And Kim Barnes-Arico taking the first time out of the game. 6:46 left in the first quarter. Ohio State with a 6-4 lead. Janae Crooms, the leading scorer, with 4 points, a layup and a long two for the Buckeyes. Michigan, 1 bucket each in close from Hallie Thome and Naz Hillman.
And that last basket there by Hillman off the offensive rebound, put on a little bit of a move and got the very friendly roll, kind of a circled down the cylinder there for, and thankfully ball got in there. Naz Hillman, what a season she's had as a freshman, has been an absolute force coming off the bench for this team, a really great change of pace. Normally, you think a sixth person off the bench for a lot of teams is a guard, somebody who comes in, is kind of the spark plug. You don't normally see that out of a big, but that's exactly what Naz Hillman is for this team, and it's done wonders for this Michigan team.
Naz Hillman allowed the Wolverines a lot of freedom in the non-conference schedule. The way Hallie Thome really struggling with injuries in the non-conference season, they were able to use her very conservatively. Naz Hillman getting a lot of game time in the non-conference, and in the non-conference late earned herself a lot of playing time in conference play.
Yeah, definitely a transition year for the Wolverines, losing Kate Flaherty, relying on 2 freshmen. Not a great spot to be in, but these two have delivered.
Munger pulls up for 3 short, but an offensive rebound by Thome. And quick back to Munger, now to Dilk, now back to Thome at the free throw line. Now Deja Church will drive in, loses the ball, and looks like tipped off her knee. Ohio State will take over. And inbound pass played to Janae Crooms on the right. Long cross-court pass to Carly Santoro. Now to Crooms at the top. Crooms, the Buckeyes, arguably their most prolific offensive weapon so far today, as Crooms looks to drive, ultimately plays it all the way back to Santoro on the opposite corner, but called for a travel, and the Buckeyes commit their second turnover. Michigan basketball.
And that's just great work by Amy Dilk. She sees the skip pass coming, charges out, and was able to get a fingertip on that pass and cause the turnover.
And Amy Dilk at the point. Michigan settles into the half court as Deja Church on the right side, left side rather. Now Dilk at the corner. Dilk moves back to the middle. Now to Munger at the corner. Munger moving back. Ohio State not letting Michigan drive at all. Munger pulls up for three from the corner, and Munger with her first points of the game, and Michigan retakes the lead 7-6. And long pass into Janae Crooms. Crooms drives. Dilk goes down, and charge called on Janae Crooms. That was Nicole Munger, rather, drawing the charge.
What a sequence by Nicole Munger there. After making the shot, charges down the court and gets into position. And at Ohio State, they've done a great job. They broke the press there again. That was just an outstanding, excellent individual effort by Nicole Munger to take that charge.
And Amy Dilk takes the inbound, and Deja Church is on the left side. Now to Dilk back at the corner. And running the same play there for Munger. Ultimately, Church on the other side pulls up for three, and the Wolverines with their second three extend their lead to 4 points.
Yeah, that three-point shooting, clearly not this team's bread and butter, but if Ohio State's going to sit back in that zone, they're going to have to make some of those shots to make them pay, and so far, so good here for the Wolverines.
And Carmen Grande at the top drives straight into the paint, and looks like a foul called on Amy Dilk. At least I believe that was on Dilk.
Not a whole lot of contact.
Yeah, very little contact. But once again, Michigan a little bit vulnerable to the dribble drive. Not something you'd expect when both Hallie Thome and Naz Hillman are on the floor.
And especially when you have such a great perimeter defender in Amy Dilk. But, you know, Grande, to her credit, at the one, fantastic size.
And that foul was actually on Deja Church, her second.
Surprising me, I didn't even see. I guess it's surprising to me that a foul was called, period.
It was an off-ball foul. Dilk was guarding Grande, who had the ball. However, it looks like the foul was committed on Carly Santoro because Grande stepped to the free throw line first. But Santoro with her first free throw and will make it. Ohio State is now in the bonus. Michigan already committed 5 fouls as Deja Church goes to the bench. Kenry Johnson makes her first appearance of the game. And the second free throw for Carly Santoro, and it goes. Ohio State now 4 for 4 from the free throw line. And now Amy Dilk at the point. Now to Munger on the right side. Now to Johnson at the top. To Thome at the free throw line. Thome looks for the outlet. Now to Dilk. Dilk now to Munger. Munger pump fakes and looks to drive. Munger at the free throw line. Now to Hillman at the free throw line. Now Johnson with the backdoor cut. Plays it under to Thome, but a travel called on a Kenry Johnson. Another turnover by the Wolverines.
And now that's, I do not see a travel there at all. She grabs the pass, immediately dumps it over to Thome. That looked like a good play to me, but an absolute clinic there on how to run an offense against a 3-2 zone there by the Wolverines.
And Carmen Grande, way too much zip on that pass for Carly Santoro. As another turnover for the, no, correction, sorry, it was off, looks to be off of Nicole Munger, deflected that one out of bounds, and Ohio State still has the ball. Grande at the point, and now it is Waterman at the free throw line, tries to give and go with Juhas, ultimately decides to keep it herself, and then a drive around Munger. Hillman goes up, commits the foul, and denies the bucket as Michaela Waterman will go back to the free throw line. And that was Michigan's 6th foul.
Yeah, well, there's no arguing about that one. That was just an absolutely fantastic move by Waterman to get around Munger there. Really no choice but to foul her to stop that easy basket.
And Ohio State, first missed free throw of the game. Kim Barnes-Arico sitting on the bench, not happy with the fouls her team has committed, and Waterman makes the second free throw. And a bit of a pause as the ball flies away before they're able to reset and play the inbound. Now Amy Dilk, Ohio State pressing full court now, as now Dilk at the point. Hillman is looking for space underneath. Dilk ultimately lays it off to Munger. Now to Dilk back at the top. Now to Kenry Johnson at the left side. Now to Hillman underneath. And now Dilk looks to drive, and looks like a foul was called on number 15, Adriana Miller, the Buckeyes' first sub of the game. And Michigan will take an inbound. Shot clock resets. Looks like Munger will deliver the inbound. They're stopping while they mop the floor. Munger quick inbound to Thome. And now Munger at the point. Munger looks to drive, pulls up. I think she thought she was getting fouled, and they did call a foul. Believe that was on Carly Santoro, as Munger will shoot too. Very quick decision right there by Nicole Munger to pull up. Didn't look like it was a great shot. She had, I guess she thought she was getting fouled, and ultimately she was correct.
That's a classic James Harden type play there. You see him do that in the NBA all the time. Somebody gets caught reaching, just go right up with the shot and catch their arm.
And Munger misses the first one.
And that's the kind of play. I'm not a big fan of that style of play, but, you know, when the refs are really tipping the scales in favor of Ohio State, sometimes you got to do whatever you can.
And the second free throw is waved off because of a lane violation on Naz Hillman. Michigan really playing a sloppy first quarter of basketball here. Despite that, they still have the lead 10-9. And OSU plays the inbound to Carmen Grande. Now back to Waterman. Waterman at half court being pressed off by Naz Hillman. Waterman able to recover. And Ohio State has to just loft it down, and a turnover there. Excellent pressure by Naz Hillman, making up for the lane violation.
Yeah, Waterman is definitely not the player Ohio State wants, taking the ball down the court against a full court press. Absolutely had no choice but to launch the ball to avoid the 10-second violation right there.
And now Kenry Johnson plays it into Thome. Now Munger at the top, open three, gets it to go. Munger's second. Michigan extending the lead back to 4. And Janae Crooms forced to play it back. Now Grande at the point. Grande looks to drive, finds Crooms some space on the right side. Long overhead pass to Santoro, and now Waterman lays it back to Grande. Grande against Dilk. Grande looking for space, and an excellent give and go with Crooms, but she's not able to handle it. She goes to ground. Jump ball called. And possession arrow to Michigan. Michigan will keep the ball. Ohio State committing another turnover. Kevin McGuff is furious on the sideline for the Buckeyes. Hallie Thome will go to the bench.
As Kayla Robbins comes in, and now it really seems like Michigan's figured things out here against this zone. They keep getting the ball up into the high post. And, you know, Hallie Thome's been able to pick apart this Ohio State defense, kicking it out to three-point shooters.
Robbins tries to play a ball over the top to Hillman, tipped away by the Buckeyes. I believe that was by Dorka Juhas, as Michigan will keep the ball. 18 seconds left on the shot clock, and Amy Dilk will deliver the inbound. A moment while they reset. And Dilk fakes the pass, ultimately to Hillman in the post. Hillman against Juhas. Hillman is called for the travel. And Coach Arico, once again, very upset.
Now we had a little bit of a referee conference. Hillman wanted a foul. It looks like she's going to get it.
And you're correct. Foul called. Believe that was on Dorka Juhas. And it was on Dorka Juhas. Juhas, that's the first time in a while we've said her name. Arguably the Buckeyes' strongest player so far this season, the one freshman in the starting 5 from Pécs, Hungary. And Hillman will shoot 2. Hillman misses the first one. Michigan not great from the free throw line. Now 0 for 2. 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Michigan up 13-9. And Hillman misses the second one, and easy rebound for Carly Santoro.
Now that's a killer right there.
And Santoro goes up guarded by Dilk. Give and go with Crooms. Crooms looks to drive across. And now Juhas at the top. Back to Grande. And Grande plays it across to Crooms. Crooms looks to shoot before ultimately deciding to drive, and that's about a easy a charge into the paint as you'll get, as Ohio State cutting the lead to 2. And now backdoor cut by Johnson. Johnson goes up a block. And Ohio State will break. Grande goes straight to the hoop. And foul committed by Kayla Robbins.
I think they're going to get a jump ball on that one, actually.
Sorry, correction. That is a jump ball.
Great play there by Robbins to get her hands on that one, because that was an absolutely fantastic drive there by Grande to get into the teeth of the Michigan defense.
And Grande lofted ball over to Aaliyah Patty, her first plays of the game. And now it's Uhas at the top. Give and go with Crooms. Crooms will drive and tries to play an entry pass, cannot get it to go, ultimately falls back to her. A little lucky there, and a turnover there. Bad pass by Crooms looking for Uhas, and Johnson lost control of it, had to go to ground and able to recover to play it up to Munger, and now Dilk on the left side. Michigan scrambling back to Hillman in the post, guarded by Grande. Easy matchup. Hillman with another layup. Carmen Grande, definitely not the defender Ohio State wants in the post against Naz Hillman.
What about the hustle there by Johnson to get down on the floor to set up that basket? Gotta love that.
And Uhas to Garcetti at the top, and a charge called on Dorka Uhas off the ball.
And that's the second charge for Michigan so far here today. And I believe it was Nicole Munger in an interview with WCBO's Alex Shee mentioned that Michigan tries to get 10 sticker plays, I believe was the term, every game.
That was correct. Every turnover, traveling violation, every turnover forced or charge called.
And, well, they're looking for 10 a game. So far, 2 charges. I'm not sure how many turnovers here exactly, but
Ohio State's got a few.
Yeah, so far, it's looking like Michigan's going to easily hit that 10 mark here today. If they keep up this effort, this intensity, and this full-court press was not as all that effective to start the game, but it looks like this Michigan team has figured it out and is giving Ohio State all sorts of trouble here.
And you are correct. That was Nicole Munger in an interview with WCBN after the LIU-Brooklyn game with Alex Shee and Jack Molino. As I didn't notice it, Dorka Uhas down injured and limping off the court, as scattered applause here at the Chrysler Center. Uhas still limping as she tries to walk over to the bench.
And thankfully she's able to walk under her own power, but it's the way she's limping, it doesn't look like she's going to be coming back to this game anytime soon. And
Michaela Waterman comes back into the game. Ohio State having to go small with their biggest and most talented player, as Uhas is still limping, looking to go over to the locker room. Munger at the point, now to Robbins, to a Kenry Johnson. And now Munger. And now Hillman back in the post. Hillman goes up, and Hillman with another bucket right over Aaliyah Patty.
Yeah, well,
And Hillman in the way there, almost forcing another turnover from Waterman. Now Grande looks to drive. Lofted pass over to Crooms, and another charge called on Grande. Went straight into Munger. Looks like Munger took an elbow to the face. And Munger opting just to jog it off. And it looks like Hallie Thome will check back into the game for the Wolverines, and not sure if they're going to let her make that substitution there. A little bit of ambiguity over there, what's going on. Looks like some confusion between the referees and Coach Arico. And Thome will check in as Nicole Munger will go to the bench. Michigan looks to go big again. Munger had her bell rung a little bit by Carmen Grande there, as Grande also goes to the bench.
Yeah, not sure what the confusion was about there exactly, but now Michigan going with a pretty tall lineup right now. Of course, Amy Dilk, quite tall for a point guard. Now they have Robbins, Johnson, Thome, and Hillman out there all at the same time. That's quite some size.
Now Thome up top, Kayla Robbins. Now Dilk at the left point. Dilk looking to drive before playing it into Hillman in the post. Hillman goes up in the post again and gets another bucket. Hillman has been an absolute monster in the post all season, and that has not stopped today. Once again, straight over Patty. And Michigan trying to double someone off, but Santoro with some space. Santoro will drive, hook shot. That was Xavier Simpson-esque, as Ohio State stems the bleeding. Michigan up 19-13, 35 seconds left in the first quarter. Amy Dilk has not seen the bench so far today. And Dilk at the point opting to slow it down. 6-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And we'll give and go with Robbins. Now Dilk. Thome sets a pick. Dilk drives. Dilk goes up from the free throw line. Looked like she may have been fouled, but could not get it to go. Thome not able to corral the offensive rebound as Crooms drives. 10 seconds left as Ohio State tries to get a bucket at the end of the first quarter. Crooms guarded by Dilk. Easy entry pass there to Patty. An excellent lay-in right there as Barnes-Arico there on the sideline, furious.
That was a late whistle there on that one. It was almost seemed like the type of play where a ref waits to see if the ball goes in or not to call a foul. Well, the ref waited until the ball went in to call that foul. Kind of not something you see every day.
And Aaliyah Patty at the free throw line trying to complete the and one. 3 seconds left on the clock, and it goes. Michigan will have an opportunity for one quick bucket. Ohio State pressing full. And now McHenry Johnson with a long shot from half court. Cannot get it to go. It looked like it might on the bounce back, but that's the end of the first quarter. Michigan with a 19-16 lead over Ohio State. Janae Crooms, the scoring leader for the Buckeyes, with 6 points. And Naz Hillman, the scoring leader for the Wolverines, with 8 points. Both players, Crooms and Hillman, a combined 7 for 7 from the field.
Yeah, Crooms, so far she's had a little bit of trouble taking care of the ball. 3 turnovers, but I really been doing a fantastic job to keep this Ohio State team in the game. But also Michigan's doing a pretty good job of keeping Ohio State in the game as well. The free throws here so far, kind of the story of this game, I would say. The fact that Ohio State got to the line 7 times, made 6 of them, while Michigan only got to the line 3 times, missing all of them, is kind of the story of the game so far to me. That's a huge swing there. If Michigan's able to convert on their three free throws, they're a little bit more smart, or they're a little smarter on defense, not giving away so many free points. They could have a much more comfortable lead right now.
Yes, Michigan there with a 3-point lead. Again, not great for free throws. The difference there, Michigan 3 for 5 from beyond the arc. Ohio State a mere 0 for 2. Sloppy game from both teams so far. In one quarter, the two teams combined for 15 turnovers. Ohio State with 8, Michigan with 7. You may have actually been mistaken or recalling wrong about what constitutes a sticker play. It might not be every turnover. It may be I believe it's a steal, block, travel, or a charge.
Okay, I thought a shot clock violation.
That I believe that also
got to be one of those. So it's an acronym. Stickers, is that what it is?
It could be. I do not know. I have
a steal, a T. What would the T be then?
Travel.
Yeah, there we go.
We need to go. We need to go listen to this again at halftime.
Yeah, maybe we're trying to get a player interview post game here. Not a confirmed thing, but maybe we'll have to double check that here today.
Yeah, we'll find out later as second quarter looks like it's about to start. As Ohio State's players have retaken the floor, Coach Arico still has the team huddled together. Ohio State now has an adjustment to make. Dorka Juhas, after taking a hard fall on a charge late in the first quarter, still in the locker room.
And the way she was limping had to be some kind of knee or ankle injury. Not the type of thing you want to see. Especially as tall as she is, the taller you are, the worse those injuries are.
Yes,
I just cannot imagine her returning to this one. And one of the scoring leaders for Ohio State, I think actually the scoring leader at 12.2 a game. She has incredible size. She's really important to their interior defense. I would imagine Michigan's going to try to keep working in the post without her on the floor.
And the second quarter begins. Amy Dilk with the ball now to Kayla Robbins up top. Give and go with Munger, who's checked back in the game. And not sure. I think that may have been a 3-second violation on Hallie Thome. No, it was an off-ball foul on Aaliyah Patty. And shot clock resets. Hallie Thome will deliver the inbound pass out to Kayla Robbins. Excellent move there to create some space. Now Dilk up top. Tries to go with Munger. Munger slips and falls. Munger so far has taken a beating this game as she's limping a little bit. Michigan's captain ultimately once again looking to just jog it off.
And the crew here was working on this side of the floor a ton, working with those mops. Still, apparently, it wasn't enough.
And Janae Crooms at the right point, lays it into Waterman, tripled, and easy entry pass there to Patty, who goes up for the layup. Ohio State cuts Michigan's lead to 1, and inbound pass played quickly to Dilk. And Kayla Robbins setting a pick. Dilk at the free throw line, lays it back to Munger from beyond the arc. Now Thome trying to get into the post. Ohio State ultimately forcing the back. Ariel Young making her first appearance of the game. Now to Thome. Thome pulls up for a long 2, cannot get it to go. And a rebound by Nia Queenland. And back to Queenland up top. Now to Crooms. Crooms given some space, now looks to drive across. Another long 2 from exactly the same place. Another miss. And deflects off Munger and goes out of bounds. And Naz Hillman will come back into the game. Kayla Robbins will go to the bench. Kayla Robbins really putting in a good shift there at the end of the first quarter for Michigan. And Janae Crooms will deliver the inbound to Patty. And now Waterman up top. Santoro. Crooms drives across, and Waterman at the corner. Back to Queenland. Queenland looks to pull up for 3, will not. Now Waterman up top. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. And Queenland at the corner, and Ohio State still searching for their first three-pointer. And rebound by Hillman. Munger takes it up the right side. Munger moves in. Hillman setting a pick. Lays it back to Ariel Young. Ariel Young looks to drive. Thome setting a pick. And Dilk goes for the long 2, has it tipped away. And Hillman, with the offensive rebound, gets it to go. As Janae Crooms on the left side. Now Waterman lays it back to Queenland at the corner. Thome able to seal off the three-point attempt. Crooms, excuse me. And now Waterman trying to direct traffic. Now Crooms in the paint. Tries to lay it off to Queenland. And Queenland moves back. And Queenland lays it off to Crooms. Crooms passing up the three-point attempt, has it knocked away. Michigan not able to take the steal. Now Waterman with an open 3. Once again, another miss, a rebound by Hallie Thome.
Michigan very fortunate there. Gave up a wide open 3.
Now Hillman in the post goes up and cannot get it to go. Another excellent pass there by Amy Dilk. That was Hillman's first missed shot of the game. And now Carly Santoro for the 3, and Ohio State makes their first 3 and ties the game at 21. 7 minutes left in the first half. Amy Dilk moves up the left side. Dilk now to Munger. Munger sealed off by Queenland. Munger forced back. And now Hillman at the top of the key. Now to Dilk, an excellent entry by Dilk, and Dilk cannot get it to go, but Hillman on the rebound, draws the foul, and the layup. Michigan opportunity to complete a three-point play. Amy Dilk in the paint. Looked like a lid was on the rim.
So far, she's done a great job controlling the offense, but Dilk still now 0 for 3. Still not able to get on the board, but...
And Amy Dilk goes to the bench for the first time this game as Danielle Roach checks in for the first time.
Yeah, you got to really love how this Michigan offense is working now that Ohio State switched back into man defense rather than that zone. It really looks like Michigan's half-court offense is buzzing.
And Hillman misses another free throw. And Janae Crooms at the top. Crooms looking really reluctant to shoot the 3 so far in this game. Santoro lays it off and tipped away by Munger. And a little bit of grappling before Santoro able to recontrol it for the Buckeyes. Now 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Crooms at the top. Crooms drives into the paint, guarded by Young, and a foul called on Ariel Young.
Now, looks like we're getting another sub. Is that Johnson coming in?
That is a Kenry Johnson coming back in as Ariel Young goes to the bench.
Now this is starting to make me wonder here. Haley Brown.
That first foul was on Danielle Roach.
But Haley Brown started the game like she normally does. Only played 2 minutes, was taken out, has not returned to the game. Very surprising to see here.
Deja Church has not been on in a while either. But as we said, the bench players largely playing well. Kayla Robbins putting in a good shift, and looks like Aaliyah Patty is blocked off by Thome, and a jump ball called. Hillman went in for the strip, and Ohio State does retain possession. Really not a situation you want to be in with Aaliyah Patty if you have Thome in front of you and Hillman next to you trying to strip the ball away, both of which have the height advantage on Aaliyah Patty. And Janae Crooms has to plays the inbound all the way back to Santoro. Santoro drives, lays it back to Patty, and a charge called on Santoro, and Munger jumping up in the air, trying to energize the bench, and that's, I believe, the 4th charge of the game for the Buckeyes. Actually, probably more than that.
And that was Naz Hillman taking that one. I think that's the 3rd Michigan player now to take a charge.
And you saw it there in the inbound. Munger leaning over to say something to Hillman. And now a Kenry Johnson at the right side. Johnson really gotten a lot of minutes so far early on in this game. And Munger lays it back to Hillman at the free throw line. And Roach to Johnson on the right side. Hillman open in the post. Johnson tries to go under the basket before losing it. Out of bounds, another turnover as Ohio State keeps the ball, or retains the ball. And Dorka Juhas has returned to the game. I don't know what they gave her in the locker room, or it looks like, or she may have just getting a bit of a bruise. I don't see any new braces. She already had one on her right knee.
Yep, it looks, no extra tape, nothing. She's just going to tough this one out.
And Crooms tries to get it to her immediately. Not way too much zip on that pass. Juhas not able to handle it. Dorka Juhas, an anomaly on the Buckeyes, a young player on a team that is largely reliant on veterans. They have 4 grad transfers in the regular rotation. And Hallie Thome at the top, guarded by Juhas. Now to Munger. Munger drives in. Munger from inside the free throw line cannot get it to go off the backboard. A rebound by Juhas. And Michaela Waterman there as Amy Dilk sitting by the scorer's table looking to come back in. And space created and made. An excellent long 2 from the corner there by number 15 for the Buckeyes, Adriana Miller. And Hillman plays the inbound to Danielle Roach. And Roach moves center. Munger standing at the corner, not really moving. And now Munger springs into action at the top. Now Kenry Johnson on the right side. Back to Munger. Munger thought about shooting. Hillman looking to set a pick. Now excellent overhead pass from Munger to Thome, tipped out of bounds. Blocked there by Michaela Waterman as Hallie Thome went for the Louis Scola type low post scoop, but
she Michigan had no idea.
Michigan retaining possession with 9 seconds left on the shot clock as Kim Barnes-Arico calls another timeout.
Yeah, the offense there looked very stagnant, not a whole lot of off-ball movement. But as you're saying, Thome trying to work it around Juhas there and had no idea that Waterman was behind her to get the swat. And that has been Ohio State's strategy. As soon as Thome gets the ball down low, she is getting double-teamed immediately. She's a fantastic scorer, has got just about every move you can have in the low post. And I believe she is the highest scorer for this Michigan basketball team with 13.7 per game. But so far, she's only had 2 shots for 2 points. And that's been because Ohio State's defense has been selling out to stop her. And that's a big part of this Michigan offense's identity. Get the ball to Thome, have her do her thing in the low post, and then everything kind of works off of that. Without her going, it makes things very difficult in the half court.
And a bit of a milestone alert. Hallie Thome so far has 2 rebounds today. That puts her at 797 for her career as a Michigan Wolverine. 3 off from the 800 mark.
Yeah.
A mark that only 4, if that, other...
I think it's 6 players. So she'll become the 7th to hit that 800 mark. And I'm not sure if that's Michigan basketball, period, or women's. I don't know exactly. I should double check that.
Well, I can't think of very many Michigan men's basketball players who had high rebound totals.
Oh, no, that's 800 rebounds is a whole lot.
And it involves staying for 4 years. A lot of men's basketball players who are that good go to the draft before they have the opportunity to stay as long as it takes to get to 800. And Michigan's twirler, Shaylin Albrecht, with a performance there during the timeout. And Ohio State looks to retake the court as Michigan, once again, a little bit slower coming out of the huddle as they come back out. Amy Dilk is back in the game. And it is Dilk, Munger, Johnson, Hillman, and Thome. Once again, the Wolverines going big against this Buckeye defense. And Thome plays the inbound to Hillman. At the corner, now to Johnson on the left side. Johnson, that Munger at the corner. Munger drives in, tries to play the inbound pass, but straight at Dorka Juhas. And Ohio State has an opportunity to take the lead for the first time in a while as Janae Crooms up top, guarded by Johnson. Crooms looks to drive, plays it back to Waterman. Munger goes for the strip, and space created, and a missed three there by Miller. Munger goes to ground and has to play it back, and a shot from the knees there by Michaela Waterman. Munger conceding a steal, and Munger looks hobbled a little bit as Amy Dilk pushes the offense back up. Now to Hillman in the post, guarded by Juhas, and Hillman goes up, and Hillman not able to get it to go. Juhas, a substantially more intimidating post defender than Michaela Waterman. And Crooms drives, and open three, wide open for Miller, but cannot get it to go. An offensive rebound by Juhas under the basket, can't get it to go, but Ohio State will retain the ball. And Nicole Munger looks like she's favoring either her right hip or her right knee.
And then another Buckeye was on the ground there. Crooms. She looks a little bit hobbled herself. A whole lot of players on the ground this game.
And quick inbound to Juhas, now to Crooms, creates some space. Now Waterman, now Miller at the top. And Waterman, open three, space conceded by Thome, in and out, rebound by Hillman. And the game remains tied as Dilk looks to drive. Dilk posts up now, Thome guarded by Waterman. Thome works into the post, and Thome looks to go up. Another low post play, but cannot get it to go. Offensive rebound by Thome, and that's her 798th. As shot clock resets, 3 minutes left in the first half. Game tied at 23 as Amy Dilk takes the ball, plays it to Johnson over the middle. Now Dilk, Thome sets a pick for Dilk. Now Amy Dilk looks to drive, plays it back to Munger. Now to Thome in the post against Waterman. Thome just goes straight up and gets it to go. Thome with her second bucket of the game. Michigan reassumes the lead 25-23.
And that's exactly what Michigan needed right there. And you love to see Thome put on the moves there to build up her confidence. Those were two excellent post moves in a row for her.
And correction, Hallie Thome now at 4 rebounds, 799. Juhas for 3 from the corner. Offensive rebound by Santoro. And Janae Crooms looking for something, and Waterman goes the other way as Crooms lays it off to Miller. Miller looks to drive into the paint, and Miller makes Johnson look sort of silly. Johnson forced a foul as that was Adriana Miller who will shoot 2. Ohio State 0 for their last 6 from the field. Adriana Miller, one of the Buckeyes' 4 grad transfers as she misses the first free throw. A grad transfer from LaSalle University. The other 3, Nia Queenlan, the other player from the bench, a grad transfer from Pacific, as Miller misses 2 free throws, and Michigan still retains their lead.
Yeah, surprising thing there, Miller, a 73% shooter. Don't often see someone over the 70% mark miss 2 in a row.
And Amy Dilk lays it out to Thome from beyond the three-point line. Thome not a threat to shoot. 7 seconds left. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Johnson will just pull up for 3, and it goes! Michigan extending their lead to 5.
Kenry Johnson, not much of a shooter.
And now Miller with some space on the left side. Miller, as I said, the grad transfer from LaSalle, plays it out to Santoro. Santoro, another grad transfer from Bowling Green. And excellent layup there by Janae Crooms, cutting the lead to 3. And Amy Dilk comes up the left side as Aaliyah Patty looks to come back into the game for the Buckeyes. 1:10 left in the first half.
Yeah, before that, made 3 there by Kenry Johnson. She was 2 of 15 on the season.
And Dilk tries to play an entry pass into Thome, but excellent defensive play there by Michaela Waterman. Now Ohio State will break. Santoro passes up the 3, drives across the key. Now Juhas in the low post, goes up for the scoop, and Uhas, I believe, with her first points of the game.
It is. 0 for 3 before that. No trips to the line. She's been absolutely. Granted, she missed quite a bit of time there, but you got to give credit to Thome and Hillman's low post defense here so far.
Uhas, a veteran of international basketball, having played with the Hungarian under-16 national women's team. As Hillman tries to set a pick, and once again, Michigan running down the shot clock. Hallie Thome tries the shot from just outside the paint, and another miss for the Wolverines. Ohio State has the opportunity to retake the lead. At the tail end of this first half, Ohio State will just take it back. And now 10 seconds left in the first half. Kevin McGuff waving his team forward as Crooms looks to drive. Now 3 seconds left. Waterman lays it back to Miller. Miller fumbles the ball and cannot get the shot up. And that error crucial as Kevin McGuff furious with his team as he saunters off to the locker room. Michigan goes into the locker room with a 1-point lead at the end of the first half. And we will take a 15-minute break here with the score Michigan 28, Ohio State 27, and Hallie Thome has accrued her 800th rebound of her Michigan career.
Absolutely phenomenal. For such a short list of players, I wish I had the players she was joining, but a very exclusive list. Really great to see her hit that mark here at home against a big rival and in a game they're winning right now.
Yes, Michigan once again, 28-27. Once again, Nick Hornberg and Nate Sorensen here. Joe Wilf will join us for the second half. We will see you in about 15 minutes. And welcome back to the Chrysler Center for the second half of Michigan women's basketball against Ohio State. My name is Nick Hornberg. Thank you very much to Nate Sorensen for doing the second half. Joe Wolf joins us for the second half. Joe, you've been sitting next to us watching the first half. We talked about that a little bit at halftime. Really, the score is a little bit disconcerting.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looked like Michigan thoroughly outplayed Ohio State there. They were getting a lot of good looks on the offensive end, working it down to both Naz Hillman and Haley Thome. At the beginning, they were converting very well, and the shots just weren't falling there towards the end. And Ohio State, even with their best player out, was able to hang around, which they usually do. These games usually come down to the wires, so let's get ready for a fun second half.
And Dorka Juhas is back in the game for the Buckeyes after hurting her leg late in the first quarter after when she and Nicole Munger went to ground together. And Michigan putting their original starting five back out there. Amy Dilk, Deja Church, Nicole Munger, Haley Brown, and Hallie Thome. When Deja Church and Haley Brown each with two quick fouls in the first quarter, neither one of them saw action in the second quarter.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they respond here to start the second half. They really only played 1 minute for Haley and 5 for Deja, so let's see if they still have a rhythm.
And Deja Church takes the inbound from Brown. Now Amy Dilk on the left point, guarded by Carmen Grande. Didn't see any action for the Buckeyes in the second quarter. And Munger pulls up for three and cannot get it to go. Excellent pass out from Haley Brown. Excellent work to get underneath the basket. And Janae Crooms takes it up the left side for the Buckeyes. And give and go with Dorka Juhas. And Juhas plays it out to Crooms. Crooms seeing a lot of the ball for the Buckeyes so far in this game. Guarded by Church. Church reaches in, and Crooms really running down the shot clock. Now 5 seconds left. Grande drives against Munger. Grande forced out. Excellent pass into Juhas, who is fouled. I believe that was on Deja Church. Correction, that was Haley Brown, and that's her third. And women's college women's basketball, just like men's basketball at the collegiate level, you foul out at 5. And Dorka Juhas will shoot 2, and Juhas misses the first one.
Juhas, a 66% free throw shooter, looks to get going at the line here.
Juhas, the freshman from Pécs, Hungary, makes the second free throw, and Haley Brown plays the inbound pass to Dilk on the left side. Looked like they were trying to play with a little bit of tempo, and Dilk drives straight in. Excellent pass to Munger at the corner. Munger for three, cannot get it to go. Michigan once again starting the half cold, and Carmen Grande with the defensive rebound.
2 wide open threes for Munger to start the half. You really can't draw it up much better than that for Michigan. You just got to find the bottom of the net.
And it looks like a foul called
on Amy Dilk.
On Amy Dilk. Another off-ball foul. Shot clock resets. Ohio State will deliver the inbound pass. Grande looking for it, risking the 5-second violation before she's able to get it out to Crooms. Crooms will drive across the paint, and Santoro lays it off to Grande. Grande looking to drive now to Waterman. And now Juhas at the top. Juhas drives straight in against Thome. Thome with a block. And it goes out of bounds as Ohio State will retain possession halfway through the shot clock. Michigan picking right up where they left off in the first half, committing 2 quick fouls within a minute and a half of this second half.
Yeah, interesting. Coach Kim Barnes-Rico is trusting her player, Haley Brown, and leaving her in right after she picked up a quick third foul.
And Grande plays it into Juhas in the post. Now to Waterman, now to Santoro. Santoro looking to drive, lays it back to Waterman. And now to Crooms. Crooms pulls up for 3. 3 seconds left on the shot clock, and Hallie Thome with rebound number 801. And now Michigan trying to play fast. Munger ultimately forced outside. Church, inbound pass to Brown. Brown goes up, guarded by Waterman, lays it out to Munger. Now to Church at the top. And Church looking for it. Brown asks for the ball. And now to Dilk at the corner. Dilk pulls up for 3. Cannot get it to go. Dilk missing another shot yet to score in the game. And Ohio State looking to break. And Grande guarded by Dilk, and Grande able to get it up. Nice layup there, rolls straight in. And Ohio State with their first lead in quite a while, with the lead 30-28. Deja Church is fouled by Carmen Grande. And not sure if they call that a shooting foul. Looks like they will not.
Michigan really settling for threes on their first 3 possessions there. Even if they're open, their best look needs to be inside to Hallie Thome.
And that was Grande's third foul. Inbound pass, tried to play it to Thome before Waterman able to knock it away. Michigan will redo the inbound at the corner. And young versus old at the point guard position. Amy Dilk, the highly touted freshman, the recruit out of Carmel, Indiana. And Ohio State, Carmen Grande, a senior grad transfer from Ball State. And Dilk not able to land the inbound pass as Grande has the ball at the point. Grande, originally from Madrid, Spain, finishing her career at Ohio State after completing her degree at Ball State. And Grande, Juhas sets the pick. Munger goes around it, but Grande goes straight up for the layup. Ohio State extending their lead to 4, and now Dilk in the half court.
That rub screen has really been bothering Michigan, where Dorka Juhas will look to set a screen and then she'll flash out so the defender doesn't know whether to hedge or to stay on Dorka, and that's really gotten Grande a bunch of good drives to start the half.
And Haley Brown and Amy Dilk will go to the benches. Coach Arico looks to make 2 quick subs as Kenry Johnson and Naz Hillman come back in the game. Johnson delivers the inbound straight at Grande. Excellent job to get in the way of Naz Hillman. And Crooms drives straight at the bucket and cannot get it to go. Excellent defense by Deja Church. And now Hillman with the rebound. Long pass to a Kenry Johnson. Goes straight in on Grande. Johnson goes up and is called for the charge.
That was a tough call there. Deep down, and both players were still moving. But the refs have been prone to call the charges today as opposed to the blocks.
And now Grande plays it, lofted ball to Santoro. Now to Grande at the point. Now to Crooms at the right point. Now to Juhas in the post. Goes up against Thome and gets it to go straight over Thome's arms.
Great lefty move there by Juhas over the tall Hallie Thome.
All right, Deja Church at the point. Hillman sets the pick. Crooms gets around it. And Church looking for space. Plays it into Hillman in the post up against Juhas. Now lays it back to Johnson. Now Hillman underneath the bucket, lays it back to Munger, now to Church. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Church drives. Church goes up on Crooms. Cannot get it to go. Rebound by Juhas. And Juhas out to Grande on the left. Now to Crooms. Crooms will drive straight in before settling and laying it back to Grande.
Michigan's really been struggling to score to start the second half. They got to stick to working it down low and getting their offense from their post players.
6 minutes left in the third quarter. Michigan has yet to score, and almost a turnover right there, and it will be a turnover right there. Hillman and Munger both going to ground to try and get that ball that Grande really lost track of, but Juhas not able to corral it either, and it goes out of bounds. And
Michigan really needs to try to force some turnovers, maybe spark a fast break to start their offense here. They seem to be very slow and sluggish.
Hillman takes the inbound. Church running the offense right now with Amy Dilk on the bench. And now it's Munger. Hillman looking for space in the post, and Thome out to Johnson at the corner. Johnson thinks about taking the shot, and another bad pass in by Church on Hillman. Excellent defense there by Dorka Juhas. And Ohio State up 6 now, 34-28. Michigan yet to score in the third quarter, almost halfway through, and Grande on the right side. Now to Juhas. And now Waterman at the top to Grande on the right side. Haley Brown at the scorer's table looks like she wants to come back in. And Juhas goes up against Hillman, and Juhas another bucket in the restricted area. And Ohio State extending their lead to 8, and now Munger drives straight in before being forced back by Carly Santoro.
Juhas has really made her presence felt here.
And a bad pass by Munger, tipped away by Waterman. Waterman on the fast break will go up against Munger and draws the charge.
And that's Munger's third charge drawn of the day today. She leads the team in that category.
And Munger goes to ground again. Munger so far has taken an elbow to the face and her fair share of hard falls. Really starting to look hobbled, as I believe that was Kim Barnes-Arico calling a timeout, and Waterman's holding her head. She may have taken a shot when she went to ground.
Yeah, Juhas has really made her presence felt in this second half, not just on the offensive end, but defensively. She's been able to corral both Hallie Thome and Naz Hillman down on the post, which is where Michigan was getting most of its offense from in the first half.
And Waterman there, the second big to come up lame after taking a hard fall. And each time Nicole Munger was involved. She's not holding her head anymore, standing up straight. When you see a player bent over like that, holding their head with both hands, you start to fear the worst potential concussion, but Waterman appears to be all right.
Yeah, we hope no one gets a concussion out here. We want everyone to finish the game healthy.
And Ohio State with the 36-28 lead, 4 minutes, 59 seconds left in the third quarter. Starting out the third quarter on a 9-0 run. And this is despite the fact they've shot 1 for 10 for 3 the entire game, but Michigan now up to 16 turnovers through 2.5 quarters. Really not something you want to see.
Yeah, most definitely not. I think the big difference was those threes that were fallen in the first half for Michigan by Nicole Munger and some open threes really aren't falling now. And Ohio State has decided they're going to live with Michigan shooting the threes, so they're going to pack the post, they're going to double team the bigs, and they're going to live or die by the open threes by the Michigan guards.
And Michigan 4 for 9 from 3, but Munger, Michigan's leading three-point shooter, less than inspiring 2 for 6.
Yeah, and that's 0 for 2 in the second half. So Michigan is 0 for 4 in the second half in threes, and they were all good shots, very open, so they need to start to hit a few of those to get back in this one.
And Haley Brown checks back into the game, has 3 fouls. Michigan, both teams have a player on the court with 3 fouls. Ohio State actually has 2 players on the court with 3 fouls, with Carmen Grande and Michaela Waterman. And Michigan also has 2 with Kenry Johnson and Haley Brown. Both teams really riding the edge with the fouls. And Munger will run the offense right now as Kenry Johnson at the right side. Deja Church stands at the corner. Johnson moves back to the middle, now back to Munger. And now Brown in the post, lays it back out to Church. Church pump fakes, Church drives, lays it back out to Munger. Now to Haley Brown. Kenry Johnson wide open near the corner. And three-point attempt, short rebound by Carmen Grande, tipped away by Church, but a foul call, and that's Deja Church's third.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen the front court combination of Naz Hillman and Haley Brown today. Coach Rico is trying to get anything going right now.
Hallie Thome is on the bench, and Kayla Robbins comes in. Deja Church goes to the bench. Kim Barnes-Arico really been quick to yank Deja Church, especially. And Kayla Robbins played a stretch at the end of the first, beginning of the second, and Santoro pulls up for 3 after a long pass from Grande. First in and out before it falls in. Ohio State extending their lead up to 11. And Munger, inbound pass to Hillman, who goes up and draws the foul, but Michigan has yet to make a free throw this game.
This is dangerous territory right now. Michigan has to focus. They need Naz Hillman 0 for 3 for today from the free throw line. She needs to knock down these 2, and they need to buckle down on defense and string together a few stops.
And Hillman, her 4th attempted free throw, and finally makes one. Michigan with their first points of the second half after 5 minutes and 45 seconds. And Hillman makes 2. And Michigan cuts the lead to single digits. Ohio State with a lead 39-30. And Michigan starting to play full court now, and Hillman on Crooms, but a space allowed Grande to Patty at the corner. Patty for 3, cannot get it to go too far. Haley Brown jumping up for the rebound, and a foul called on Michaela Waterman. That's her 4th.
Yeah, not a smart play by Waterman. She's a very valuable player to Ohio State, and they're going to need her out there. And it's very important for Michigan to get their offense going, not just to score points, but because once they make shots, they can set up their full court press, which has really seemed to bother Ohio State today.
And Dorka Juhas looking to come back in to the game, and Haley Brown at the free throw line. Michigan now in the bonus in this third quarter. And Brown misses the first one, and Michigan now 2 for 7 from the free throw line. Not at all what you want to see. Really, those are 3 points right there.
Yeah, and this is the first year in women's college basketball where there is no bonus and bonus plus. Every free throw is 2 shots now.
And Haley Brown misses the second, and Patty with the rebound. Hillman almost able to come up with it. And Michigan wasting another opportunity at the line. Not a whole lot of good of being in the bonus if you can't make your free throws. And Crooms trying to direct traffic. Now Uhas at the top. And now it's Patty to Santoro. An excellent inbound pass right there to Uhas, but a little bit too much on it. Uhas not able to corral it under the basket. Now back to Grande at the top. Grande will drive, guarded by Johnson. Risky play there by Johnson. And tipped away by Haley Brown. A shot clock violation called, and Michigan not really too happy they weren't able to play that fast break.
Yeah, I'm very surprised. Haley Brown was ahead of the whole field, and she had the ball. It seemed to be before the buzzer went off. I'm very surprised they didn't let Haley Brown take that down the court.
And now Nicole Munger at the top. Plays it back to Kenry Johnson. And Munger pulls up for 3 and just short. At first I thought that went down. And rebound by Janae Crooms.
Michigan again settling for 3s. And Ohio State calls a timeout.
And Kevin McGuff opting. I believe that's the first time Ohio State's called a timeout all game. Ohio State 3 minutes left in the third quarter with a 9-point lead, 39-30. Michigan, after scoring 19 points in the first quarter, scored a mere 9 in the second. And so far today has scored, or so far in this third quarter through 7 minutes has scored 2.
Yeah, but one thing Ohio State was able to do well through the first half is they were able to close the quarters really well. If Michigan's able to play a strong 3 minutes, maybe cut it to 6 or 5, they should be in okay shape after a horrible third quarter.
Yes, as Coach Rico really not happy with what she's seen so far, as Kevin McGuff communicating instructions to Janae Crooms. Crooms has had a lot of the ball, more so than any other player for the Buckeyes, taken 7 shots more than any other player, made 4 of them, 8 points. Carly Santoro leads the Buckeyes in points with 12, including 2 for 4 from beyond the arc. And Dorka Uhas starting to establish herself in the game, 7 points and 6 rebounds.
Yeah, Michigan's really settling for 3s this half. It's very hard on them because Ohio State's packing in the paint and they're giving them open 3s, but they're playing right into their Ohio State's defensive plan if they're going to settle for those. They need to continue to get the ball down to Naz Hillman and Haley Brown and Hallie Thome and get to the free throw line and set up their full court press.
And it'll be interesting to see how Coach Rico handles the substitutions. Once again, as previously stated, the Wolverines have 3 players on the court, or have 2 players on the court with 3 fouls, a Kenry Johnson and Haley Brown. Daisha Church, another one with a 3rd. She's on the bench. And it looks like a both of them are still out there. Michigan not carrying a true point guard out there right now. It's Munger, Kayla Robbins, Kenry Johnson, Haley Brown, and Naz Hillman. Not the biggest lineup they could come up with, but still really a more positionless lineup.
And I think not having Amy Dilk there really affects their offense negatively. She doesn't get on the scoreboard that often, but she's really the commander and the general of their offense and makes sure everyone's in the same place and delivers the ball on time and in rhythm for everyone.
And Carmen Grande gives it up to Uhas. Now back to Grande. And now Santoro looks to drive under the bucket and pulls up just shy of the paint, and rebound by Brown. Brown almost losing it there to out of bounds. Excellent pressure there by Aaliyah Patty. Now Munger drives to the corner. And now Kayla Robbins lays it back to Brown. Brown looks to drive into the paint, and looks like a foul called on Aaliyah Patty. And that was Patty's 3rd. Ohio State has committed 16 fouls in the game.
Good drive there by Haley Brown. She's really forcing the issue to get inside and wants to have a much bigger impact in the second half than she did in the first.
And Haley Brown, after going 0 for 2 on her last trip to the line, makes the first. And now Brown makes the second. And Michigan cuts the lead to 7. And Dorka Juhas pauses for a second, has to tie her shoe.
Michigan really needs to take advantage of these last 2 minutes and 40 seconds in the bonus. The refs have been calling this game very tight all day, and if they just drive, they're going to get a bunch of foul calls.
And Michigan pressing at the half court. And now it's back to Grande on the left side. Grande moves to the center. Juhas looking to set a pick. And Grande ultimately goes the other way. Now Santoro looks to drive. Now back to Juhas. Juhas lays it back to Grande. Grande looking to drive now at the top. Grande lays it off to Crooms. Crooms will drive. Brown in the way. Now up to Patty. And a block. No, a foul called. I believe that's on Haley Brown, her 4th.
Yeah, there's a miscommunication at the top of the key on the dribble handoff. And Grande was able to get into the lane and dish it off to Patty.
And Ohio State now in the bonus as Patty looks to shoot 2. And Haley Brown, her 4th foul of the game. Would not surprise me at all to see her yanked, and it looks like Deja Church will come back in the game. And actually, Church will replace a Kenry Johnson. Kim Barnes-Arico, a little bit risky here with Haley Brown on 4 fouls. And Patty makes 2 free throws. Ohio State's lead back up to 9. And Deja Church now running the offense. Michigan, as you said, Joe, probably looked to drive. And Brown sets the pick. Church looks for it. Hillman there in the low post, but not able to find her. Robbins at the top, now to Munger. Munger plays it into post. Excellent pass. And now Brown at the top of the key. Cannot get it to go, but almost an offensive rebound there by Hillman. The ball will go to ground, and a jump ball called as Kayla Robbins and Carmen Grande on the ground fighting for the ball. And Ohio State will have possession.
And another outside shot by Michigan there, which is not ideal considering they haven't hit many this quarter.
And Juhas talking with the referee. Deliver a quick inbound to Janae Crooms. Now back to Juhas. Michigan pressing. And Crooms goes right through against Munger, and
a blocking foul is called.
That's one of the few blocking fouls that's been called all game. Munger has been excellent at taking the charge all game, but once again, Munger hitting the floor again.
Yeah, and she's hobbling. She's taken quite the beating today.
And Janae Crooms has yet to go to the free throw line so far this game.
Crooms, a 36% free throw shooter at the line, hits the first.
And hits the first straight into the face of the Michigan marching band. And Ohio State's lead up to 10. And the marching band making noise again as Crooms misses the second. Almost an offensive rebound there. It is an offensive rebound there by Carly Santoro. And once again, another sloppy play there by Michigan. Hallie Thome sitting at the scorer's table about ready to check in. Tipped away by Kayla Robbins. No, a foul.
And they'll go back to the line for 2. Really 2 very big mistakes there. Haley Brown letting the shorter Crooms get the rebound over her. Sorry, Grande get the rebound over her. And then committing the foul is Kayla Robbins a few moments later to give Ohio State 2 more free throws to extend their lead.
And that rebound was by Carly Santoro, who does make the first free throw, extending the lead to 11. If Santoro makes this free throw, extending Ohio State's lead to 12, be the largest lead by either team in this game. And Santoro will miss it. And Hallie Thome comes in to rebound. Grande once again trying to make a play for it. And Church running the offense, looks to play it back. Thome setting a pick. Ohio State snuffed it out. And Church looking to drive. Hillman setting a soft pick right there. And
a lot of standing around offensively for the Wolverines.
And Thome tries to play a ball in over the top to Brown. Brown goes up and gets it to go. And Michigan cutting Ohio State's lead back to single digits. Grande looking to pull up for 3. Now back to Santoro. And now who is that at the corner?
Juhas.
That is Juhas And Juhas with her first three into double-digit scoring. The freshman from Paich, Hungary. Ohio State now with the largest lead of the game for either team for 12.
Interesting coaching move here by Coach Arico, electing to go with Haley Brown, Hallie Thome, and Nas all playing at the same time.
And you say that playing with that size and still not really attacking the paint. And Church goes in. Church with the hook shot in and out around the rim. Her offensive rebound by Hillman, another miss, and her offensive rebound by Brown. Munger pulls up for three. This is a big one, and it goes! Michigan cuts the lead back to single digits, and Ohio State will have the opportunity to have the final shot of the third quarter. And 5 seconds left. And Grande drives, and Michigan seals it off. Long buzzer beater by Grande, will not get it to go. McGuff upset again that Ohio State not really moving with any urgency, and that is the end of the third quarter. Ohio State, a dominant third quarter. Michigan once again only putting up 9 points.
Yeah, and that was a huge shot by Nicole Munger to end the quarter there. The difference between 12 points and 9, while only being 3, is a lot more in the minds of the Michigan players.
And Ohio State goes into the fourth quarter with a 46-37 lead. Kim Barnes-Arico talking over there with the assistants as the team talks. Coach Arico trying to take the Pat Riley-esque coaching move where it takes a stoppage of play and just stands there and lets the team sort it out themselves.
Yeah, it was an interesting move there by her towards the end of the quarter. No one was really creating anything offensively, so she put in the 3 big men to handle the offense, and they were able to create extra opportunities on the offensive glass, which led to the 3 by Nicole Munger. They seem to struggle a little bit defensively. I'm sure those 3 girls aren't used to being out there all together on the defensive end, and they gave up the 3 to Juhas at the corner. But look to see that line up a little more, and maybe that'll spark some more offense for Michigan in this upcoming fourth quarter.
Be interesting to see how Coach Arico, and really to a certain degree Kevin McGuff as well, handle their players that are in foul trouble. As we've said, Haley Brown has 4 fouls for the Wolverines. Deja Church and Haley Brown with 3 apiece. Ohio State in a similar position with Aaliyah Patty and Carmen Grande each with 3 fouls and Michaela Waterman with 4.
Seems that these coaches have a lot of trust in their players, and they're going to keep them out there and hope that they make the smart decisions and are able to stay on the court for the remainder of this fourth quarter.
As a little bit of an extended stoppage at the end of the third quarter. Naz Hillman still leading the entire game with 14 points. And she and Hallie Thome each with 7 rebounds. As Michigan still, despite that, losing the rebound battle to the Buckeyes 19-24.
And Juhas was able to score 8 points in that quarter, despite only scoring 2 the first half and struggling with an injury at the beginning of the game.
And Michigan, once again, 16 personal fouls and 16 turnovers. Ohio State with 16 fouls and 13 turnovers.
Let's see if Michigan's able, and it seems that Coach Arico is going to go away from that big lineup, reinsert the original starting lineup, and try to get some more movement offensively and try to cut down this Ohio State lead.
And Haley Brown is still on the floor, as is Deja Church, each one in foul trouble. And Church plays it, slings it out to Munger, and the foul called on Carly Santoro, and that is her second. And Michigan will maintain possession as the shot clock resets. That was Munger, plays the inbound to Church. Munger looking for space as Church stands at the top trying to direct traffic, motions for Munger to come back out, and Munger plays it back with Church as she runs across and tries to play an inbound ball to Thome, and Haley Brown comes up with it, and Brown gets it to go. Juhas tipped away the zip pass to Thome, but Brown, excellent positioning right there, and Haley Brown with her 5th and 6th points.
Great move there by Haley Brown in the middle of the paint, step through to the opposite side to create some space and finish with the right hand.
And Crooms at the top lays it back to Grande. And now that is Waterman back in the game with 4 fouls. Ohio State running down the shot clock. Crooms drives as Church overcommitted, goes up and looks like drew the foul from Hallie Thome and got the bucket.
It seemed that Hallie Thome was in the restricted area there, and which is why she was called for the block. Michigan also went to a zone for that possession, trying to throw off the Ohio State offense. Deja Church gambled on the steal and ended up giving up the drive behind her.
And Crooms tries to complete the three-point play and will not. And defensive rebound by Haley Brown. And now Michigan can break. Dilk looks to drive straight at Juhas and up against Grande. Dilk with her first points of the game, and even that one looked like that one was gonna rim out.
Great move there by Dilk, really forcing the issue, getting down into the paint and finishing over the smaller Grande.
And Carmen Grande lays it back to Carly Santoro. Dilk showing a little bit of space inside, but ultimately Santoro decides to give it back to Grande. Now Santoro, little 1-2-3 with Grande and Juhas. Grande up at the top again. Now Waterman looks to drive on Thome, and Waterman pulls up and scores.
Great shot by Waterman. Michigan needs to find Waterman offensively and attack whoever she's guarding. She's got 4 fouls and is probably not looking to foul.
And you said it right there. Inbound to Thome, went up against Waterman, could not get it to go though. Hallie Thome usually does not miss from that range. Grande pulls up for 3 and scores. Ohio State's lead back up to 12.
Just a great shot there by Grande. Not much she could do defensively.
Dilk lays it off to Munger. Now to Dilk at the corner. And Dilk drives in another shot, cannot get it to go. And out of bounds, and it will be Michigan's ball off of Carmen Grande.
The Wolverines need to make sure that no single person here is playing hero ball. They need to stick to their strategy. They need to get the ball inside, and that's the only way they're going to get back in the game here.
Dilk looking for it, plays it into Brown underneath. I can't believe they let her have that much space. Brown attacking Waterman yet again and scores. Brown really playing well in this second half, even with the 4 fouls. Grande, overhead pass to Crooms. Moves inside a little bit all the way across to Santoro. Now to Grande. Grande drives a Munger. Now Santoro. Crooms has a little bit of space. Brown goes flying in there. That was risky. Crooms misses the easy layup. And out of bounds off Waterman. Michigan will have the ball back.
And even with the stop there, the zone doesn't seem to be bothering Ohio State too much. They seem to be getting into the paint at will and driving past the Michigan defense.
Haley Brown took a massive risk there flying in for the steal. Now Dilk goes up. Offensive rebound by Thome and a foul called. This is important. Who was that on? That was on Dorka Juhas, who has fouls to give. That was her 3rd.
Amy Dilk really seems to be forcing the issue here, driving every time down the field and either creating for herself or dishing it off to a teammate.
Dilk goes to the line and makes the first free throw. Michigan cuts the deficit down to single digits yet again. And Dilk makes 2. And buzzer sounds as Naz Hillman checks back into the game. Deja Church goes to the bench.
And it looks like Coach Rico is going to go back to that big lineup with Brown, Hillman, and Thome all in the game together.
That lineup closed the 3rd quarter quite effectively against the Buckeyes. Only difference is that Amy Dilk is in the game at the 1 instead of Deja Church. And Crooms drives, and a foul called. I believe that was an illegal screen on Carly Santoro.
Yeah, having Hillman there at the top really disrupts a lot of the Ohio State offense. She's big, she's long, and she's fast. And that showed in that screen. And
that was Carly Santoro's 3rd. Ohio State really getting in trouble here with the fouls. And Dilk, guarded by Grande, lays it into Munger. Munger drives on Waterman, just throws it up, and it goes. I think she was just trying to get the foul called on Waterman. And the deficit back down to 6. And Santoro at the top, guarded by Hillman. Santoro lays it to Crooms. Juhas trying to set a pick. And Santoro up top, Michigan not letting anybody in, and Crooms goes, and Crooms lays it back to Waterman. Waterman guarded by Hillman. Waterman pulls up from the free throw line, and it goes.
Tough move. Great shot by Waterman.
Ohio State's lead up to 8. Now Dilk looking to push the tempo, plays it into Hillman. Hillman goes up for the easy layup, cuts the deficit back to 6, and Kevin McGuff will call a timeout. He is furious.
Yeah, the lineup change really has sparked Michigan. They've been able to get layups every time down the floor, and Ohio State really isn't sure how to handle the 3 bigs down there. We'll see if they're able to keep it going and close this fourth quarter strong.
And Amy Dilk up to 6 assists on the game. Really been a weapon in the passing game. And Ohio State really getting in foul trouble now. Janae Crooms only with 1 foul, but Carmen Grande, Carly Santoro, and Dorka Uhas all with 3 each, and as we said, Waterman with 4. And Michigan really done a good job of attacking Waterman. Waterman's answered with an exemplary job of not fouling, but she's had to concede space and resulting in buckets down low.
Yeah, and Waterman's really been hitting a few shots on the offensive end, which is justifying keeping her out there with her lack of defensive effort due to her 4 fouls.
And it looks like after a review from something in the third quarter, Haley Brown has had a foul waved off. She's only at 3.
Oh, wow. That's going to have a big impact through the rest of the game.
Maybe that's why Coach Arico's been playing her.
Yeah, she knew more than we did, I guess.
And Nicole Munger now into double digits with 11 points, but not particularly efficient. Just 4 for 11 from the field, 3 for 8 from beyond the arc.
And it's very easy to see how different the Michigan offense is when Amy Dilk is there running the point. She gets everyone in the right spots, she delivers the ball on time, and she doesn't let Michigan settle for open jumpers like they were doing earlier.
And Nicole Munger has, it should be noted, Munger has also played more minutes than just about anyone else on the court. She has been on the bench for less than a minute, and that was when she took a hit to the head.
Wow, she truly is the heart and soul of this Michigan women's team. The captain, she leads by example. She's putting her body out on the line and doing everything she can to help this Michigan team try to come back and beat Ohio State here at home.
And Naz Hillman up to 16 points, 7 for 10 from the field. Should be noted most of that has come within the restricted area, but still, that's quite a shooting clip. Well, not most of that, all of that.
And that's right. You might think that's sort of an exception, but she averages 70% from the field through the season, so she's right along her average. Seems like she should be getting a little more than 10 shots a game if she's averaging 70% from the field.
And Naz Hillman has been a revelation for the Wolverines this season. And Hillman will stay out on the floor. And Michigan will take Hallie Thome off as Deja Church will come back out. And inbound pass from Waterman to Grande. Hillman pressing the full court along with Dilk and Church. And now Crooms from the right side, and now it is Carmen Grande. Waterman trying to motion Crooms forward. And ultimately they go opposite directions. And now Waterman up top, now to Uhas and to Santoro. Santoro looks to drive. Now Waterman at the free throw line. Waterman's made a few jumpers from about 10 feet away and out of bounds off Uhas. Michigan forcing another turnover.
And Michigan switched back to a man-to-man there. Ohio State wasn't expecting it. They were a little caught by surprise, and Michigan was able to force the turnover. Great move by Coach Arico.
And Michaela Waterman comes to the bench. In comes Aaliyah Patty, who also has 3 fouls. Ohio State does not have the ability to bring in low foul players off the bench. That's why Janae Crooms simply has not left the game. And now Haley Brown, now to Munger. Munger pulls up for 3, and it cannot go, but fighting for the rebound there. And referee, will he call the jump ball? No, he won't. Ohio State able to get it out. Now Crooms driving, threatening to fast break. Hillman lagging behind a little bit, but Michigan able to recover. Grande considered pulling up for 3, ultimately decided against it. And Deja Church guarding her as Uhas picks. And now Patty up top. Now Uhas in the post, guarded by Church, and the foul called on Church. She does not like it at all.
Yeah, Church had to switch on to Uhas with the pick. I didn't think that she necessarily had to do that. Naz and Church didn't have such good communication, and due to that, Church was stuck on Uhas.
And Coach Arico giving out instructions. That was Deja Church's 4th foul. And Uhas will miss the first one. Deja Church has shown a propensity so far this season, despite being a talented player, to rack up a lot of fouls. Of course, the road trip against Oakland, she had double-digit assists and fouled out.
Yep, she is an aggressive player.
And Uhas misses 2, and you saw the aggression right there as Church goes for the rebound and plays the fast break to Munger. They hold up, however, and Dilk at the top. Lays it out to Church. Now to Munger at the corner, wide open. Ohio State letting Munger really do whatever she wants and demonstrating why there as she misses yet another three-point attempt.
And Michigan really is, Munger's the one player on that team that Michigan will be okay shooting a wide open three. She's the leader, and she's the best three-point shooter on the team. So hopefully she gets one to go soon.
Crooms a ball over the top, but Patty not able to keep it down as Haley Brown with another rebound as Church looks to drive, ultimately forced back by Crooms. Now to Brown. Looked like she might shoot the three, but ultimately lays it back to Church. And then now Dilk at the top. Dilk will drive on Grande. No, she won't. She will double back a little bit as Dilk lays it off to Munger. Now to Church back up at the top. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Brown drives against Uhas, and Brown goes in and up and has the ball stripped by Uhas.
Hillman was begging for the ball down there on the post when covered by Michaela Waterman, and they weren't able to find her.
And now Crooms. Crooms drives, has it knocked away by Brown. No foul called, and a block there by Haley Brown, but foul called on Munger for the trip. Munger splayed out to try and get that on the ground. Bounce up to Santoro, and Munger gets called for the trip.
A tough offensive sequence there for Michigan. The last time down the floor, they did not get the ball inside the three-point line the entire possession, even though Hillman had great position on Waterman down low, and she was begging for the ball.
Waterman back in the game once again with 4 fouls.
I'm a little surprised Coach Rico went away from that big lineup. It seemed to be working very well.
Well, they've been very conservative with Hallie Thome's minutes all season. Uhas plays it back to Carmen Grande as the shot clock is reset, and right on cue, it looks like Hallie Thome will come back in the game, likely to replace Deja Church, who has 4 fouls. Coach Rico's probably yelling at Church now, don't foul. And Uhas up at the top, guarded by Brown. Uhas looking to drive, but ultimately won't. Now Grande drives on Hillman and will not go. Deja Church with the rebound. And will play it up. Now Munger. Munger will drive in on Santoro, and looks like a charge called.
A blocking foul.
You're correct. That was a foul on Carly Santoro. That was her 4th. Now Ohio State has 2 players with 4 fouls. Hallie Thome comes back in as Deja Church goes to the bench as expected. And this is really a time for Michigan to start worrying. 3 minutes, 20 seconds left. Ohio State up 55-49.
Michigan's really been able to lock down defensively the past 3 minutes.
Inbound pass to Munger goes underneath for the layup straight under Michaela Waterman. Sorry, Joe, I cut you off.
No problem there. Great play drawn up by Coach Rico, and Michigan cuts the lead to 4.
And now it's Grande. Crowd at Chrysler starting to rise to their feet. McGuff is screaming on the sideline, absolutely livid. And now Crooms at the top. Munger overcommits a little bit. Now Grande pulls up for 3 and cannot get it to go. Rebound by Hallie Thome. That was big. As Munger goes up, Dilk on the right side. Michigan trying to play fast. Now Hillman in the post against Crooms, and Hillman cuts the deficit to 2. And Ohio State will try and push the tempo now as Grande tried to take it up as Kevin McGuff instead calls a timeout. And the crowd on their feet at Chrysler, the most alive it's been all game.
And Michigan has really locked down these past 5 minutes. They're on a 12-2 run, and OSU has missed their last 4 field goals. They're finally starting to capitalize on the offensive end from all their hard work on the defensive end.
And Naz Hillman now up to 18 points and 7 rebounds. Amy Dilk with 8 assists.
And that big lineup with Amy Dilk at the point guard seems to have worked seamlessly all game today. And look for them to go back down into the post down the stretch of this game.
And the noise level really rising here at the Chrysler Center. Really the best attended women's basketball game I've seen since I've been here.
Yes, absolutely. And every single fan is getting their money's worth today.
And Michigan not making any substitutions, sticking with that lineup of Dilk, Munger, Hillman, Brown, and Thome. Ohio State also not making any substitutions. Now Crooms. I don't believe Crooms has sat down all game. And now Grande, guarded by Dilk, plays it out to, I believe that's Uhas at the corner, tipped away by Dilk, but able to recover as the Buckeyes. Munger gets a little aggressive right there, and Crooms, cross-court pass to Santoro. Santoro pulls up for 3, 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Misses, rebound by Munger. Michigan can tie the game now as Amy Dilk tries to push the tempo and ultimately holds up. Plays to Hillman in the post, tipped away. Haley Brown goes to ground. Hillman comes up with it. Now to Dilk. Dilk drives. Thome underneath. Thome ties the game. 55 all with 2 minutes left.
What a look there by Amy Dilk. After almost committing the turnover, gets the ball back and delivers a great pass to Thome to tie the game up.
And Grande lays it to Waterman. Nobody's fouled out in this game yet. And pulls up for three is Santoro. Wow. And Ohio State quiets the crowd. A minute and a half left. Michigan needs to score and probably score again. Munger at the top.
Just a huge shot there from Santoro from the right corner.
Santoro with the dagger with 16 points, leading the Buckeyes in scoring.
The corner is always the weak spot in a zone, and Ohio State was able to find it on that last possession.
And Dilk drives against Grande, lays it back to Munger. Munger pulls up for three to tie the game, and she does!
What a shot by Munger. You knew one of those was going to fall down soon enough.
Nate Sorensen standing there giving a fist pump over to your left, Joe. Late in the shot clock, a minute left. Ohio State still in control of their destiny a little bit. They have the opportunity to take the lead as Grande. Hillman getting a little aggressive, and Waterman goes down, has it knocked away, and Thome with the block and the steal. Michigan slowing it down as Coach Arico calls a timeout. No.
There seems to be some confusion.
Michigan does get the timeout. Looks like the referees are still talking. Someone may have called a foul and had it overridden. There's a little bit of confusion.
And what a shot there by Munger to tie it up.
Munger now with 16 points.
The heart and soul of this team coming through right when they needed it. What do you think they do down here for their last possession?
If I had to guess, I'm going to stay with that big lineup. It'll be interesting because Ohio State will have the last shot if Michigan takes down the shot clock under 30 seconds. My guess is they'll probably go for the easy shot. Ohio State, I know Santoro hit that dagger, but Ohio State still only 5 for 7 from behind the line. If I had to guess, they probably go for the easy post play for either Thome or most likely to Naz Hillman.
Yeah, that seems to be the plan. The only problem is Ohio State knows that too. They're going to try to pack it in and bait Michigan into taking an open jumper. If it's Munger, we're happy with it. Other than that, you got to force it in the paint no matter what.
Say it's probably even if they pack the paint, still probably not a good idea to try for three. Michigan, not great themselves from three-point range. 6 for 15. I suppose 40% is pretty good.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, this team will live and die with Nicole Munger, and if she gets an open shot to take the lead, I doubt anybody in this arena will be too upset with that.
Each team gutting this one out as 3 players on the court right now with 38 minutes played with less than a minute left in the game. Crooms and Santoro each with 38, as well as Nicole Munger.
I would also look to attack Waterman. She's been playing passive defense the entire fourth quarter due to her 4 fouls, and she's might be playing a little more aggressive now because she's going to have the ability to go after them defensively. And even if you don't get the bucket, you might be able to draw the foul, and she's really been most of the offense for Ohio State in this quarter.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how Kevin McGuff positions Michaela Waterman defensively. And actually, it looks like he did not take her out of the game. It'll be interesting to see because, once again, playing with 2 bigs, Waterman and Uhas. Uhas has a foul to give. She currently stands at 3.
All right, here we go.
And Naz Hillman jogs over to the inbound line, and nobody's standing over to receive the inbound. Amy Dilk will come back. Looks like Carmen Grande will go with her. Ohio State will press full court. At least one person. Munger goes back to ease some pressure, and Hillman ultimately forced to play the long one to Munger. Grande really only there to guard the inbound. Ohio State does not opt to press. And Waterman will guard Hillman. That's the matchup to look for. Player on 4 fouls versus Naz Hillman. Dilk on Grande. 15 seconds left. Now Hillman in the post on Waterman. Hillman has it forced back by Uhas. Now back to Brown. Now to Dilk. 7 seconds left. Thome signals the pick. Drives now Thome. Thome goes up. Cannot get it to go. Hillman with the offensive rebound. Hillman gets it to go. 13 seconds left. Michigan's up 60 to 58.
Got to lock down here.
10 seconds left. Grande at the top. Hillman guarding. Don't foul. Grande drives, cannot get it to go. Defensive rebound. Munger is fouled.
And Munger pumping up the crowd.
1.5 seconds left. Munger will shoot 2 as that 5th foul puts Michigan in the bonus.
Munger, the best free throw shooter on the team at 96%, going to the line to ice the game in her senior season.
And Hallie Thome and Nicole Munger, I believe, stand at 1-4 in their careers against Ohio State. And Munger makes the first one. Ohio State cannot win this game in regulation. And makes the second. And one in a second and a half, looks like this game will be over, as Kevin McGuff calls a timeout to try and set up something, to set up a 3-point attempt and a foul.
Michigan just needs to stay in the paint, keep away from all the Ohio State players, and make sure they're not jumping on any threes. Nothing can hurt them now except for a foul. What a swing.
And even then, Michigan has fouls to give if it's not a shooting foul.
Yeah, at this point, that's too dangerous.
That is way too dangerous. I do agree with you.
Best move is to just stay away. With 1.5 seconds left, there's not much you can really do.
Even if you allow Ohio State to score underneath, if you just stand outside the 3 and let them give the long outlet underneath, they're still taking a second off the clock.
Absolutely. Will they get the ball side out of bounds here? After the
If I had to guess, they will.
Okay. I mean, what a swing. That lineup of Brown, Thome, and Hillman really changed the whole dynamic of this game.
And Haley Brown, a clutch performance in the 4th quarter. It won't show up in the stat sheet with a mere 8 points and 8 points, 5 rebounds, but an excellent gut check performance by Haley Brown. And Kim Barnes-Arico will close the game as Munger, Dilk, Brown, Thome, and Hillman stand as the crowd at Chrysler Center on their feet for this last second and a half. Michigan up 62-58. And Janae Crooms will play the inbound pass, guarded by Thome. Plays it over the top to Waterman. Waterman goes up with a shot, misses, and it's over! Michigan beats Ohio State at the Chrysler Center after trailing as much as 12 in the 3rd quarter. Michigan wins the game here at Chrysler Center the day before MLK Day, 62-58.
What a game and what a comeback. Unbelievable grit and strength shown by this Michigan team. They got down by as much as 12 and never gave up, and they were able to power through and get this victory. A huge, huge game by Michigan against their arch rivals, and a much-needed Big Ten victory.
Naz Hillman led the game in scoring for either team, 20 points, 9 for 12 from the field. Nicole Munger delivering a captain's performance, 18 points in 39 of a possible 40 minutes. And my name is Nick Hornberg, once again with Joe Wolf. Joe, any closing remarks?
Just enjoy this victory, great game, and go blue.
And thank you very much here for listening. Once again, my name is Nick Hornberg. Joining me, Joe Wolf, Nate Sorensen with us earlier in the game. Have a great day, everybody. The final score here at Chrysler Center, Michigan 62, Ohio State 58.